As you might have seen, we have already taken a look at how the Ford Sync feature works. Now let us run you through some of the other features in what is probably the geekiest car in India, the Ford Ecosport. Sitting on the driver's seat, it's pretty much like any conventional car. What I really like is the amount of view that you get from this one. I'm currently in the covered parking zone in my apartments, but the kind of vision that I get both from the front and the back is absolutely brilliant. The rear view mirrors work very well. Now comes to the main point of starting this car. This is a manual car, not an automatic transmission. So what you have here is the conventional 3 pedals: the clutch, the brake and the accelerator. To start the car, you need to do is press the clutch. Now it'll give you have the start key here, the button here. Essentially what you need to do is you need to have this little key fob somewhere on you in the car. This thing does not work as a proper conventional key would. You need to just have it somewhere in the car. We have that there. Press this once, the dash comes on. Right now, that's a little message there. Press clutch to start. I have pressed the clutch. And there you go. The car starts.
Phone disconnected.
That's the sync feature, telling me the iPhone was disconnected. Now it's connected back again. So, apart from that, what you have here is your climate control setup. Fairly simple to get through. Now, the AC in this one is very effective. Though there is a little bit of a design fault as far as I'm concerned with these particular vents. Now, this vent is essentially aiming at the driver, and so is this vent. Now, if I push this too far to this side, so that the people sitting behind can get some cool breeze, now this thing is essentially closed. This vent is now closed. So you need to basically have it at this alignment. Now this thing can be a little bit of an annoyance. That's true for all these setups, all these vents. So I don't really get it why turning it this way closes it and only works this way. Now, something like what Maruti and Hyundai and even Volkswagen did was they had a simple dial here to close the vent, no matter what the angle or what the position of the air direction. So that's something that Ford can probably look at in the next edition, in the next update basically. I told you about how good the vision is in this car. The steering wheel, though small, is quite chunky, has a very nice feel to it. It's leather wrapped on the sides from here till here, and same thing on this side from here till here. This is where you're essentially holding the steering wheel for the most part. These buttons don't get in your way at all. This side is clear, so you can hold the steering wheel like this if you prefer it that way. Apart from that, this is your 5-speed manual gearbox. Slots in pretty much like every manual gearbox. The USB control and your 12 volt connection sit here, so does your aux connection. That's the handbrake there. What I really like is the integrated armrest here. Now I can essentially very easily sit here and drive along. If you're cruising along, you don't really need to bother about changing gears. This is very comfortable. Lots of spaces on the doors, all doors in fact, but it's a little niggle here because this thing does not really have the amount of space that I wished it would, quite honestly. This display, very uncluttered, very nice to see. That's your fuel there, the amount of fuel in the tank. This is your RPM meter, and this is the outside temperature. The top one shows you the amount of fuel consumption you're doing, the average basically. And all the hazard lights sit here in case something needs to come on. Now talking about the space, I just run the camera back to show you the space at the back. Lots of leg room, lots of headroom, and quite a generous window at the back. So, well, all in all, you can have 2 people sitting very comfortably, and you can have 3 people if all 3 are very accommodating, can be sitting in there very comfortably. So now coming back to the music system for 1 second, I don't know if this video can do it justice, but the speakers are excellent. I'll just for a few seconds play the track that is playing there at the moment. I'll turn up the volume and you can probably enjoy the amount of the amount of volume, clarity and quality that this setup offers. Like I said, I do not know if you really got the actual experience of the sound that I am getting here, but the quality of audio from these 4 speakers and 2 tweeters is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I don't think there's a need for most people to go in, get an amplifier put, get a subwoofer put, because these things offer quite a good amount of bass and the vocal clarity is very, very good. Now, what also aids this thing is the fact that this particular cabin in the Ecosport is extremely well insulated from the outside noise. So, and this has happened with me quite a few times. I'm driving along at about 50-60 kilometers an hour, depending on the traffic conditions, and some little brave fellow drives past me in a bigger SUV or just any other car basically, zips past me, and all I just see is the car zipping past me. Absolutely no noise from the outside comes in, no road noise filters in, and what you're sitting in is a very, very comfortable zone. The horn from other cars, if they're honking at you, basically comes in at a volume which is very comfortable for the ears. It's more like a melody actually rather than anything else. And in terms of the suspension, the driving quality, while it's a very heavy car, as you're driving along you do not feel the heaviness in the car at all. And it's got a very, very good road presence in terms of the fact that it sticks to the road very nicely. So if you're driving along enthusiastically, you can have the confidence that this car will stick to the road. There's a very good amount of grip offered from the Goodyear tires that Ford has fitted in this car. We will have more detailed explanations about the driving experience and how this car feels under various driving scenarios in our detailed review in our detailed feature story actually on the website. We hope you've liked these 2 videos, one about how the Ford Sync works, one about how the car and the driving experience is and how the cabin quality is. And we look forward to doing more car related stuff on thinkdigit.com.